What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I know you were probably expecting Michelle Jackson, but she looks a little different this week. Yes, it is your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am taking over the Pen Posse podcast. Ooh, that has a little ring to it. I like that. The Pen Posse podcast has a little alliteration to it. I love it. I love it. So, as you guys know, I am a proud New Orleanian. I graduated from the John F. Kennedy High School. I grew up in the 6th Ward, and then I moved to the lower 9th Ward. I'm showing you guys how much of a New Orleanian I am. I attended Loyola University, and I moved to the DMV and I joined the crew of Pyros. So I'm not just from New Orleans, I am New Orleans. So then I found out about the Black Ink Festival. And I said, okay, I can't come home for the Black Ink Festival, but I am about to support the Black Ink Festival. So I linked up with my girl, Michelle Jackson, and I said, how can I support the Black Ink Festival? Because I can't come home for it this year. I was supposed to come home because if you guys have been to my website, you see that I have the Black Ink Festival on there. And I've been telling everybody I was coming home for the Black Ink Festival. But I said, oh, shoot, I can't come home. So I said, I'm going to support. So last week, I hosted a masterclass on AI for authors, how to use ethical AI. I wanted to show people how they could use AI in an ethical way. So I supported the Black Ink Festival by hosting that masterclass. And then I said I wanted to go a little bit further. So I wanted to be able to help Michelle to promote the Black Ink Festival by helping to interview some of the authors who are going to be featured at the Black Ink Festival. So that's what I'm doing. I decided I was going to take over a couple episodes of the Pen Posse podcast so I could give my girl a rest because she has been working and getting this Black Ink Festival popping. So I said, I'm going to give her a rest and I'm going to help her to interview some of the authors. So tonight, I am taking over the podcast and interviewing some of the authors who are going to be featured at the Black Ink Festival. And so tonight, I'm about to bring on our very first guest, Miss Jenna Jones. So I'm about to bring her on right now. Yes, she is. Hello, beautiful.
Hey there. Hello.
How are you?
I am fabulous. I am so honored to be here this evening.
And I am honored to have you. Let me just let you know, I just came off vacation a couple weeks ago. I was in Antigua, and your whole aura is just taking me back on vacation. The hair, the jewelry, the outfit. You better do your thing, girl. The melanin is popping. I'm loving it.
Island vibe. Yes, very much. I love it.
You better do your thing. I love it. So tell me, first of all, before we even get started, tell the people, who is Jenna Jones?
Sure. Jenna Jones is a storyteller from way back.
Come on.
I'm a Baltimore native. You know, I was the nosy kid growing up, so always kind of listening in on the adults. So, you know, that led into my storytelling love. Just kind of wanting to get to school. I'm a Baltimore native, currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. Previously lived in the DMV, Northern Virginia.
Okay, so you're right down the street from me. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, for sure. Yes, DMV is the spot, the area. That's what they call it.
Yes.
But, you know, I've always had a passion for writing and reading. It really was my place to escape. So I feel like being an author was always inevitable for me. And I feel like I'm just walking in my calling right now. And I'm thankful for that.
So you said writing and storytelling has always been a part of what you do.
For sure. I've even in the 9 to 5 like corporate world, I did marketing and communication. So I was always crafting stories, but I needed to tell my own. So
Yes.
and they were always I tell people it felt almost like a haunting. Like I had stories that were just like I had to come out, and that's what I've really been leaning into, getting these stories that I feel will touch and impact a lot of people, getting them out into the world. So I'm thankful to be doing that.
Oh, wonderful. So now, with storytelling, were you doing more oral storytelling before you started writing?
So both oral and written. Definitely oral when you're at your friend's house, at the family's house. That's sitting around the kitchen table is oral storytelling. But I always kept my diary and my journal closed. And when I got to college, I wrote for the paper, I wrote for the magazine. So it was definitely a itch that I tried to scratch as much as possible.
I love that. I love that. So, tell me about your books.
For sure. So my book is called Scenes from a Chrysalis.
Hmm.
It was released just this weekend, May 30th.
Oh,
And it's,
congratulations!
yeah, it just came out, new release. And it is very much a story about overcoming. We meet Maya Peach Calloway, who is a woman who was formerly incarcerated. And she's just
Mm.
determined to rewrite the script of her life. She's determined to better herself. She sees herself as worthy of more and worthy of better. So we're just following her journey as she's just, making her way through becoming the woman she wants to be. There is a triggering point in the book, without giving too much away. There's a triggering point that totally causes Maya to come undone. And all of her memories, all of the flashbacks to her time inside come tumbling out. She's having dreams, she's having visions, she meets with her therapist, so we get to see her therapy journey, but we see her trying to figure this all out with her therapist as far as, I feel like I've overcome this experience of being incarcerated. Why am I still feeling stuck and trapped? So Scenes from a Chrysalis really takes us through Maya's journey. And while this is going on, while she's dealing with her own personal, storms, she also encounters two new admirers who come into her orbit who have their own set of secrets. So she's dealing with her stuff, she's dealing with their stuff. It's like, okay, what's going on? So it's a story that has a lot of moving parts, but all of it is really for Maya to determine who she wants to be and where she wants to go in her life.
So, I'm hearing a lot of layers in this story. What type of story would you tell it? Because in some ways it almost sounds like fantasy, but I wouldn't say it fits neatly there.
It's funny that you say that because I feel like that's the theme for a lot of my books in terms of not really fitting neatly in certain genres. This actually, you can say it's contemporary fiction. There's romance elements for sure. There is fantasy components and even some speculative, because in the book we meet Maya's grandmother, Mama, who is not living. She's on the other side of the day. But with Mom, she's there to provide support to Maya. She's giving her, how, back in the day, folks would have dreams and such. And so we see that in the book, Mom is coming into Maya's dreams and saying, hey, be on the lookout, be careful. And then we see that. So it's very much a story that's very colorful with a lot of different layers and elements. I wanted it to be a story where people kind of hung on every page. That's really was my vision for writing this book. And I'm hoping that people really appreciate the story and root for Maya. Maya is very much, I consider her an everyday woman. She's out here paying bills,
Yes.
has her job, has a really sketchy supervisor. So it's still everyday life type stuff. And she's dealing with all of that while becoming who she wants to be.
So, and is this your first book?
So it's my second. This is my
Okay.
second novel. My first book was Vivid, which came out in 2021. And interestingly enough, I would not call Scenes from a Chrysalis a sequel, but I consider this book to be the sister book to my debut novel, Vivid, because in Vivid, Maya is a little girl. But a reader doesn't have to read Vivid first. I wrote it in such a way where a reader can read them in any order. One informs the other. They both
So this is
inform.
kind of a continuation of the story. No, I said this is kind of a continuation of her story, but
Definitely.
it's not. But it's not a. It's not so much a sequel, but it's kind of like Maya as she's grown up.
Yes, very much so. It's her as she's grown up. In Vivid, she really was a little girl. She was like 6 when the book ended. We encounter her now with Scenes from a Chrysalis as a 35-year-old woman. So a completely different, ball of yarn. And we're having to deal with her and walk with her in her journey as a woman. How does womanhood look when you are of a certain age, of a certain socioeconomic background? Again, she's formerly incarcerated, and it's a matter of who knows that part of her life. She can't tell everyone that because it may impact how she's treated, how she's regarded, and she's having to learn how to walk the line of, being open to encountering people, but also, what are you about? Are you good for me? Do you mean me well? She has that history now that she has to think about. She has a different set of circumstances that some people may have.
So for those of you who are just joining us, we are talking with author Jana Jones. She is going to be one of the featured authors at the Black Ink Festival, which is taking place in New Orleans, my hometown. And that's going to be June 20th. That's this month. And there is still time to register for the Black Ink Festival. And I have the link right here on the screen and in the comments. Just go to www.blackwritersworkspace.com. And there is a treat. So if you want to get the party started early, you can go to Martinis and Manuscripts, which is taking place Friday, June 19th. So that is like a little extra something where you can maybe get your manuscript looked at. You want to do a little networking. Get a good martini while you're at it, because our sister likes a good martini. So head out to Martinis and Manuscripts on June 19th, and then there's also going to be a film premiere on after the book festival. That's going to be on the 20th, which is like I said, after the festival. So you want to make sure that you get some information about that as well. So just go to blackwritersworkspace.com for information on all of that. So you really want to be a part of this. I need people to know that New Orleans is not just about partying. New Orleans is not just about Mardi Gras. New Orleans has a culture all to itself, and books is a huge part of that culture. Yes, we do read in New Orleans, and we have some amazing authors there. We have a beautiful culture there. So this is a huge part of that. And the festival takes place in one of the most beautiful parts of the city. If you've never been to City Park, you are in for a treat. I'm telling you, the park is gorgeous. Have you ever been to City Park, Jenna?
I have been to City Park. So let me say, New Orleans is my favorite city. Okay,
Oh,
it's my favorite
you live in
city.
Atlanta. Don't let them Atlanta folks hear you say that. They don't like that.
I've heard that there's some, but New Orleans, every day, all day. When I tell you I have such a deep and abiding love for New Orleans. So, and this is my first festival as an author.
Oh,
So
wow.
the fact that it's here, it's in the city, I'm like, oh, so it was meant to be. I love New Orleans. And City Park is gorgeous. So I am really excited. And I hope everyone comes out. I've been telling everyone in my circle, I want to see you in New Orleans. So they know the word is out.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait to. I wish I could be there. I really wish I could be there because I love supporting festivals and I love supporting authors. But what I am going to do is make sure I order your book. So hold your book cover up one more time.
Sure. It's kind of a light shade of blue, so I don't know camera wise, but this is
Yeah,
what it
there
is.
you go. Oh wait. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we can see it. Scenes from a chrysalis.
Yes.
Now I know we're running out of time, but tell everybody, where did you get the idea for this story?
It was always in the making. With the way Vivid ends, without, well, we know that Maya was incarcerated. And I wanted Maya, even though she's a fictional character, but as authors, we know we're very sensitive about our characters. I wanted Maya to have a happy ending. I did not want her story to end with her being incarcerated.
Yeah.
And even when I wrote Vivid, I would get emails, I would get DMs, and people would ask me, like, well, what's going on with Maya? What's going on with Peach? That's her nickname. And I'm like, oh, we're working on something. It's coming. And I actually was working on another project, and Chrysalis just came and burst right through. And I just completed that, and this became my second book. So it was meant to be. And I'm happy that Maya has her happy ending with this book.
That's awesome. And that's I think that's a lesson that everybody needs to know that being incarcerated doesn't have to be the end of your story. Sometimes it can be the beginning of your story.
Definitely, definitely. You can rise above and elevate and move on. You can rewrite the script. That's really a theme of this book, to rewrite the script. You make the rules, you're the director, you're the writer, you choose. And I really want the reader to come away with that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what can people expect when they meet you at the festival?
They can expect a cool chick who likes to chat, who writes books, and I'm going to all of the events, so you will see me. I will be there. I'm excited, and listen, it's going to be a vibe, and I am ready. I'm getting all my ducks in a row for the trip to New Orleans Juneteenth weekend, and I hope to connect with readers. The Black Ink Fest has been on my radar for a minute, so the fact that I'm coming to this book festival as my first one, I'm honored, truly. So I'm very excited. I had always wanted to come, and now with my second book, I'm like, okay, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to do it. So I am here and I'm ready, and I want to meet everyone. So stop through.
Wonderful. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. If you want to meet Jana Jones, sign up for the Black Ink Festival, June 19th and 20th in New Orleans. And isn't it free? They have no excuse not to come see you.
None, okay? None. Go right there and sign up, get your ticket. Okay, I want to see everyone's face.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, we are running out of time and we have a couple other guests that we have to get to. So please tell everybody how they can reach out to you.
For sure. My website is janajjones.com. You can always connect with me there. I also I'm on Instagram kind of frequently. Written by Jana. So that's written by Jana, all one word. I also have a Facebook, author Jana Jones. Please check me out there too and follow me. I try to be active there more often than I've been in the past. So definitely, I'm on Facebook. Check me out. I'm always open for messages and chats, and I'm a book lover at the end of the day. So I would love to just connect with readers, and we just talk about book stuff. So I'm very open, and I hope to hear from everyone.
All right, all right. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining me tonight on the Pen Posse podcast. And I look forward to one day meeting you in person.
Thank you, Dr. Rhonda.
All right, you enjoy your evening and best wishes. I hope you sell out of all of your books.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. All right, that was author Jana J. Jones, and we are about to move over to the next author. We are going to be talking with Miss Merkita Peters. Hello. Uh oh, you're still muted.
I'm sorry. Hello, Dr. Rhonda. How you doing? It's nice to meet you.
It is nice meeting you too. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. So, before we get started, tell everybody who is Rakita Peters?
My name is Rakita Peters. I was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm a graduate of Warren Easton High School and also of Dillard University and also Columbia University in New York. I'm professionally I'm an urban planner by trade, but also have a love of reading since I was a kid, and journaling and researching. So at the later stage in my life, I seem like I've grown closer and closer to more journaling and reading and writing. So it's been coming. It's like a reinvention of who I am via the written word.
All right. And you know what? First of all, what's up, home girl? You know, my nephew went to Warren Easton.
Okay, okay, we
yeah,
got something in common. Yeah.
yeah, he played football for Warren Easton. He was a quarterback.
Okay, okay.
Said, I mean, I told everybody at the top of the show that I'm from New Orleans, from New Orleans.
Yes, yes, yes. I heard the earlier interview. You're definitely from New Orleans.
I know, and you know, it's funny because people tell me that I don't sound like I'm from New Orleans, but you know what actually happens is people when I'm talking to people who are from New Orleans, they say you don't sound like you're from New Orleans. But people who are not from New Orleans who talk to me say that I sound like I'm from New Orleans. So I think that when you have the trained ear, you don't
Yeah,
think I'm from New Orleans. So
definitely from New Orleans though. From the previous interview I heard, you're definitely a 504 girl. That's for sure.
thank you. Thank you. So tell me about your books.
My book is called Boldly Beyond 50, A Black Woman's Guides to Aging with Excellence. Actually, I'm a co-author. It's an anthology booklet, so I'm a co-author with 12 other authors.
Okay.
So I have a chapter in the book, and so the book is basically about reinventing your life at the age of 50, letting people know as they approach age 50 that life is not over. It's also shares a lot of inspirational chapters within the book from the previous authors about overcoming different things, you know, how lives and how you can transform your life and still have a quality of life beyond the age of 50. So that's basically the gist of the book. Everybody has their own individual chapters as the co-authors, and my chapter focuses on finding my purpose after the age of 50. And so I'm enjoying the I enjoyed the process. This is my first time as an author, as a co-author and as an author in general. So I enjoyed the whole process of actually turning my journal writing into actually something that is a published work, which I'm very appreciative and grateful for, and I hope it helps someone as they read my chapter as well as the other chapters they read within the book.
Wow. So what made you decide to do that? I mean, first of all, I think that that is a great introduction into writing. And anybody who is even thinking about being an author, I think being a co-author in an anthology is a great way to kind of dip their toe into the writing world.
Yeah,
Um, because you know you kind of get an introduction in it. You know, like okay, you kind of see what it's like, so to speak.
yeah.
Is that why you decided to do it this way rather than writing an
For,
entire book?
Yeah, for me, I think I started like I guess you call baby steps. Like I said, I
Yes.
always read. I was always a reader throughout high school, junior high school. I always had a love for reading. I would find that was my space I would go to. When I read a book, I would just like imagine me being in wherever that area was that I was reading in, the characters. I had pictures in my mind of who they were. So I always had a love of reading in general. And I think for me it was progressive because used to have a not a podcast. I used to have what they would call a blog. I started
Yes,
out
yes.
blogging back in 2017, and I always journaled. Journaled my feelings, my thoughts, whatever I was dealing with, whatever. So it really started through journaling. Then it moved from journaling to actually having a blog, and then it moved from the blog, to where I'm at right now. So it was kind of progressive in my case. But I'm not surprised that I eventually was able to write something and have something published because I was always a reader and writer throughout my journey. But I think for me, this has been the next step beyond the actual having the journaling and then having the blog.
And now, what was your blog about?
My
Did you?
blog was called Purple Vision, and Purple Vision is a ministry that I found after experiencing being a survivor of domestic violence. So it's
Mhm.
basically a blog to empower victims of domestic violence to create a better life for themselves and their families, and to honor the legacy of those women. And I know that domestic violence is also experienced by men, but mine basically focus on women because that's my own life experience to honor those women who have lost their life due to domestic violence. So my blog was basically about that, and I would have other survivors, other to do guest appearances on my blog. So that was something that I found back in 2017. And then, like I said, I moved from blogging to just I could just continue to journal and stuff like that. And I've done the ministry kind of evolved to me actually doing outreach, going to women's shelters and sharing about domestic violence awareness. So for the last 2 years, the Purple Vision Ministry has done what they call an annual domestic violence awareness month outreach event at the New Orleans Women's Children's Shelter, where we go out and bring supplies and bring awareness to domestic violence. So I've been doing that since 2023. So everything has been kind of like progressive for my ministry. Like I said, it started out with a blog and then it moved from doing outreach ministry. And that's basically how I evolved with the blogging with the ministry. So now I'm writing about my experiences with this chapter in the book as far as my what my purpose is in life. And I really believe that that's one of my purposes is to be able to serve in this ministry and help victims about domestic violence, at least minister to their needs based on my own life experience.
Wow. I've written, I've written quite a few books actually that center on domestic violence in its various forms. Spiritual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, and it's amazing that a lot of people think that domestic violence is only mental abuse.
Yeah,
People don't realize that it is in so many different forms.
correct.
Um, and that just because a person didn't lay a finger on you does not mean that you weren't abused in some way, and
Yeah.
uh, and that you can't be affected in some way. And I'm sure that as you visited these different shelters, you found women and children who were abused in different ways and were affected in different ways.
And sadly, statistics is showing that domestic violence related incidents is the number one reason why people are homeless. It's the number one cause of homelessness, and the statistics is showing that if you run the statistics from Louisiana, the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, as well as the National Domestic Violence Hotline, the number one reason for homelessness currently right now is due to domestic violence related incidents. So it affects um, people in many different ways. Some people may feel like they have no choice but to know,
Uh,
where they're gonna go at, but they're just trying to survive. So it's been it's definitely has a lot of effects. When you're going through that situation, and not only a person that goes through it or survivor can really attest to it, and no one person's story is the same. My experience with it may be different than somebody else's experiences, but we all can relate because we all know what it feels to go through that and try to overcome that and make a better quality life for ourselves and our children if we have children or even for ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad you're sharing that story because so many people need to hear it. As much as we talk about it, there's still somebody who needs to hear it. And I know we're having a little bit of issue, and I don't know what it looks like on your end, but I'm seeing a black screen right now. Um,
Um, my screen is, I can see both you and I. Mine is not black at all. I can hear you clearly. And I see you clearly. I can see myself clearly. So I'm not having any problems on my end at all.
okay, okay. I don't know if it's just on my end, but I can hear you clearly. So as long as I can hear you, I'm good.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll just keep on rolling with it. Okay. So is that what your story in the book is
My
about?
story in the book is basically about finding my purpose as a result of that. I think a lot of times people feel like when they go through their type of experiences that I begin to question from my own perspective, why did I go through this? What is my actual purpose in life? I was more in a reflective mode once I kind of got out of that situation. Even when I was going through the healing and counseling process, I still question, um, what's the purpose of me going through this? What is it I'm supposed to learn from this experience, and how can I give back to somebody else when I had so much help when I was going through the experience? So it's really for me about more reflections on what is my purpose, and my purpose. I found my purpose, at 50 as a result of going through this experience, and how I found the ministry Purple Vision as a result of the experience as well.
Okay. I think we're having a. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay. Great. 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 Okay. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time? What your book was about? Because I think we had a little bit of a sound issue, and I just want to make sure everybody was able to hear you clearly.
My chapter is basically about finding your life purpose after 50, and how I
Mhm.
found my purpose after age 50, as a result of me going through being a survivor of domestic violence. Um, and basically, it's just understanding my God given purpose later in life, emphasizing how fate, hardship, healing, and intersects to shape my calling. As I approached the age of 50, I began to question the deeper meaning of my existence beyond personal and professional accomplishments.
Mhm.
Through years of domestic violence and spiritual struggle, and eventually healing, I came to realize that my suffering was not without purpose. Guided by faith, counseling, and reflection, I transformed my pain to a mission of service by founding Purpose Vision, a ministry dedicated to empowering survivors of domestic violence. The chapter underscores the belief that purpose is revealed over time through lived experiences, and that fate can transform life's greatest challenge into a source of healing, strength, and service to others. So basically, that's a synopsis of my chapter in the book and what it's about.
Okay. Okay. So I'm glad I asked you to repeat that. Okay. So like I said, I'm really glad that you're sharing your story for a couple of reasons. One, because of the domestic violence piece, but the other part is finding your purpose after age 50. And and being a woman who's over 50 myself, um I think that sometimes when we get past a certain age, we start to think that, okay, what do I do now? Like life is over after we've passed a certain age. That we're no longer in our 20s and our 30s, and we're the leftovers, or what do we do now? And when we start to think that, like, okay, do I still have a purpose, or do I have to live my life through my kids now? And we don't have to do that. We still have a purpose. So I really love the fact that you are sharing this story, because I think there are still a lot of women who need to hear this. And I'm noticing, I've been hearing a lot on this narrative a lot lately, where women are helping other women to either find their purpose or rediscover their purpose, because they already had a purpose and maybe they didn't realize they had a purpose,
Yes.
or maybe they forgot their purpose after 50 years old. So I think that's why I'm saying I'm really glad you're sharing this story.
And I hope that it encourages somebody. I hope that it gives people hope. I think that when you go through any type of life challenges, whether it be domestic violence or anything, hope is what people need, particularly in this day and age. I think I will hear the late Reverend Jesse Jackson say, "Keep hope alive," and and may he rest in peace. But hope is what kept me going. It kept me knowing that better days were ahead, and that I could do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. And I think that people need hope. I think we take for granted the fact that when people become hopeless, how that can change the trajectory of their lives. But if you have even a small grain of hope or faith, it can transform a lot of things in your life. Just having that to hold on to know that it's not gonna always be this way. And I think that people need that in this day and age. And I pray that my chapter helps people to see that wherever they may be at, whatever their lot in life is, if it's a challenging time, that it's not going to always be that way. That better days are coming, and that just keep holding on and just keep moving forward and trying to move forward in a positive way, and know that it'll get better as time goes on. And I think that's really, that's what I hope that people get from the chapter. That's my prayer.
Amen. Amen. So, are you doing the Black Ink Festival by yourself, or are you going to have some of your co-authors with you?
No, I'll be by myself. The authors consist of co-authors consist of 13 women from all across the United States. Um, their chapters are also in the book, so you'll be able to read about their chapters and their stories in the book. But I'll be the only person at the festival as far as for the book for the representing the book at that time.
Well, that's pretty awesome. That this is your first venture into writing, and you are a co-author in an anthology, and then you've decided to do a festival by yourself. That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
I think I'm thankful for the encouragement and the support that I've gotten through Black Writers Workspace. I'm thankful for finding the community in that to kind of help me give me that encouragement to be able to do it. And like I said, I just hope that whatever I contribute, it helps to uplift and encourage somebody. I think, like I say, it's important for me to um, not just to be present, but I hope that my presence in what I wrote in the book helps to help somebody else. That's my ultimate goal.
That's wonderful. And I'm really glad that you found a writing community. Do you think that you're going to stay? Are you here to stay? Are you going to be writing a full length novel one day?
I started writing my outline for the second novel, and I have another topic for another thing I want to write on. Not really clear what it is. I mean, I'm clear of the topic, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to approach it. So I have a couple of things that I want to write about. At least two more, I think, books that I would like to see myself do, and to is a source of education and encouragement as well. So yeah, this is not the only works that I plan on doing. I plan on doing writing other books in the future, and so that's what I've been working on lately as well. The outline for that book, and just starting to write the second book that I want to write, and also thinking about the third book that I want to write as well.
Well, that's wonderful. That is so cool. I mean, that really means that you are here to stay. I remember talking with an author once. This was her first book, and she hadn't considered herself an author yet because it was only her first book. And I'm going to tell you, like I told her, you are an author. Just because this is your first book does not mean that you're not an author.
I
You have
appreciate the
all these books
encouragement.
to learn.
Yeah, I really appreciate the encouragement, Dr. Rhonda. To have you say that, and it means a lot to me, for people for the encouragement, and I think people sometimes take for granted the fact the encouragement that people need, the words that they need to hear. So I'm very appreciative of you saying that to me. I really am, and I don't take it for granted.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I absolutely mean it. So, where can people find the book?
You can find the book. You can email me, and also cash out me, for the book. My email address is Rakita Peters at yahoo.com. and I will send you more information as to how to go about purchasing the books from me directly. Also, I have my information. I can send you my information where I can you can cash at me, and I can mail the book through that way. And also, like I said, when you give me all me, I can give you other outlets also to order the book from me personally. The book is also on Amazon, but that if you order it on Amazon, I won't receive the proceeds because it's linked to the main author's KDP account. But as an individual author, co-author, you can get a direct book directly from me, and also you can purchase the books from me when I'm attend the Black Book Ink Festival on June 20th,
And that's what
2026.
I was about to say. So if you want to purchase the book and you want Rakita to benefit from that purchase, then you need to come out to the Black Ink Festival, which is June 20th at City Park in New Orleans. So come on out to the Black Ink Festival, City Park, New Orleans, June 20th. And then also, don't forget about Martinis and Manuscripts on June 19th. So you can find out more information about both of those events by going to www.blackwritersworkspace.com so you can register for the event. And that's where you'll be able to find Rakita Peters' information. So make sure you come out, support this brand new author. She has dipped her big toe into the ocean of into the literary ocean. Let's put it that way. So let's make sure that we encourage her. She has made a huge step, and I'm excited for her. Like I said, I might have to go ahead and order your book myself because I want to be able to support you as well.
I appreciate you, Dr. Mother. Thank you for the time that you've taken with me to interview me. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, I appreciate you and I congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. You have a great night and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Bye bye. All right, so that was author Rakita Peters. Now we did have another author, and he's been messaging me the whole time we've been on here. I don't know what's going on with him. So Jerry, if you out there, I don't know what's going on with you right now, but I done told you to log in, so I'm gonna give you a couple minutes and I'm gonna just talk. So we're gonna see what happens. I sent him a link, and we're gonna give him about a minute or two because I'm not gonna be wasting y'all time. We're gonna see what happens. But everybody, make sure that you go to the Black Ink Festival. And I've told y'all a couple of times that it is going to take place June 19th and 20th. It is going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. I keep looking at my phone to see if he is going to click this link and log in so you can hear about his book. I'm looking at you, Jerry Bob. If anybody knows author Jerry Bob, text him and tell him to click the link so he can get his interview. Because I don't know what's going on. But like I said, I'm going to give him another minute and then we're going to end this show and he's just going to have to be interviewed at a different time. But other than that, I want to thank Michelle Jackson for letting me invade the Pen Posse podcast. This has been a blast. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to the Horizons Author Lounge. I will be back on my own platform next week where I'll be interviewing two amazing authors. And then I'll be right back here in the Pen Posse podcast the week after where I'll be interviewing about four more authors. And hopefully those authors will show up because Jerry, I'm looking at you. And then the Black Ink Festival will be taking place. And then I'll be right back on my own platform once again. And then I have a couple of events that will be taking place. First of all, in July, I will be heading to Phoenix, where I will be accepting the International Impact Award for my novel, Surprise Swipe Right. Yay! And then at the end of the month, I'll be heading to Atlanta for the National Book Club Conference. So excited about that. And then in August, I'll be heading to New York for the Harlem Book Fair. And I'll in Harlem, I will be teaching another AI for authors class. So if you are in New York, make sure you hit me up because you definitely do not want to miss that AI for authors class. Because if you missed the one that I did for the Black Writers Workspace, you do not want to miss the one I do in New York because I'm telling you, that class was everything. And look, what I'm not going to be doing is teaching you how to let AI write your book for you because I don't roll that way. I teach you how to use AI as an assistant, not a replacement, because we respect the written word that comes out of our mind. So, more information to follow on that. And if you want more information on how to use AI to enhance your writing process, make sure that you connect with me. And you can find me. In fact, I will put my information, I will put my website in the chat so you can get more information on how you can find me. There you go. There is my website. All right. So it looks like Jerry is not coming. So I don't know what's going on with Jerry. So I am not going to waste everybody's time tonight. But I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. I want to thank our guests, Jana and Rakita. I had a blast. I want to thank Michelle for allowing me to invade her space tonight. I will see you guys back in here in about 2 weeks. And Michelle will be back in her own space next week. I am having a good time. It is fun to be in a different space. I'm on StreamYard too, but this feels a little different. I like this. But I had a great time tonight, and I hope you guys did too. I will see you guys again soon. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. I'm loving it here. I'll see you guys soon. I'm going to holla at you. Bye.
In celebration of Juneteenth weekend, join us for the 4th Annual Black Ink Book Festival and Black Ink Short Film premiere in New Orleans, Louisiana on Saturday, June 20th, 2026 at City Park's Pavilion of the Two Sisters from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Meet new authors in all genres, enjoy speakers, live readings in the Botanical Gardens, and win prizes. Registration is now open. Author exhibit booths and sponsorship opportunities are available. To learn more, visit www.blackwritersworkspace.com/BLK Ink Book Festival. We look forward to seeing you there.